Somebody's releasing a book in November.
Oh.
Yeah.
Who could that be?
I think it would be me.
Hey. Let's hear about it.
Time for props.
There we go. Go.
Take me by the scenes. It's what we're doing. Come and check it out. It's what we're all about. 561 Music.
Welcome to 561 Music. My name's Ben.
And I'm Hector.
What's up, Hector?
Nothing.
What's down?
Absolutely nothing.
What's in the middle? You're in the middle.
Technically you are, but
that's true. Yeah, so we are going to Dragon Con in Atlanta.
Yep.
Literally now.
Us and 80,000 of our closest friends that we've never met.
Yeah. I just completed my elf costume. I've got some really very interesting stuff. I can't wait. But dressing up is something that I didn't know I loved until last year. And now I found out that I absolutely love it. So I'm going to have a lot of fun.
Funny.
Yeah. So we play a bunch of times, don't we? Play like 4 times.
Yeah. We play Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
Yeah. It's going to be awesome. And I asked my wife, is it something she'd enjoy? Does she want to come with me one year? And she said, no.
It's funny because I had the same conversation with Kelly and I had the same result.
Yeah. It's a bit of a shame. I think if she came, she might be surprised. I thought it was going to be, there's no real other word for it than nerdier. I thought that I didn't realize that people were going to be so sort of just chill and nice and put together and
Well, I mean, Dragon Con's very different than any other con. It's more party environment and less, nerdville. So,
yeah, it's just a rave.
Yeah,
it's
basically.
hilarious. There's all these kind of muscly sort of Chad looking guys and stuff and just hanging around, just sort of dancing.
With a bunch of famous people that Ricky wants to meet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And we're going to meet them all and we're going to say, by the way, Ricky hates you.
No.
I think I get about every other week they'll make an announcement of somebody and then Ricky will send me the picture of it and go, I hate you.
So we send them the text.
Yeah. So then I send them the text. Ricky hates you.
Well, we've blown our cover a little bit here. We have Ricky and Dom from DDRB with us. How's it going, guys?
Very good.
It's nice to be in the new studio on the podcast. This is the first time that I've been on the podcast since you've come to the new studio.
I haven't been in the new studio.
This is your first time in the new studio
at all. Yeah. Justin gave me a little tour when we got here, and it looks amazing.
The walls, everything.
Yeah. He showed me the floor and the lobby, and then he was like, "Get out of here." And,
please leave.
He was like, please don't come back. But somehow I broke back in, and we're back for the show.
Fantastic. Yeah. It's really lovely. Justin's done an amazing job, and I feel every time I come to work, I'm just like, oh wow, yeah, look,
You're very lucky to be working.
Oh, lucky. Yeah.
It looks fantastic. I mean, everything is blue. I like that. It's very
totally. We got these little blue mic ends to kind of.
Yeah, I saw this not too long ago. I was like, oh, look at these little blue things. Just really just amping it up a little bit. Man. Now, if you guys only get a couple of personalities, this whole thing will work out nicely.
Be amazing.
I know, yeah. We're just I
have to make fun of you. That's my job.
No, but we're super lucky to be here, and even more lucky to have you come and grace us with your presence.
Well, thank you.
So, DDRB. We did speak about it briefly one other time.
Yep.
But it was you both weren't here, so
no, that was we're kind of in the lead up to show 500 for my solo project, but that was also at the same time that we were kind of teasing and prepping the release of Bright Green, which was our debut album. We went
was before we even released the record.
I believe so, because show 500 was September of last year, around my birthday, and I think the album we were dumb and we put it out on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, you could do another album, record it here, and call it Royal Blue.
I like that.
Could.
I like that.
We could.
We'll do 6 songs about the color blue. Mm-hmm. Each song will be a different shade of blue.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Your blue period, you could call it.
I don't know if I want to say that. I think I'll pass. Thank you, though. Appreciate your input.
Hard pass.
But yeah, going back to that episode, we were kind of still figuring out what this project was going to be. I mean, I think that was probably even before Kenny's backyard show.
Oh, it was way before that. Yeah,
because that was this year, right?
Yeah,
that was sometime this year. And yeah, we didn't really know what we were getting ourselves into.
Yeah.
I think we had both just kind of found ourselves with this pile of songs.
Sure.
And we knew we wanted to play them, and we knew we wanted to do something in a different context than our other projects.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, because I mean, obviously, like everybody knows, me for playing in the Shake, and knows Dominic from doing his solo thing and everything like that. I mean, the punk rock stuff. So this was like a different take on what we were doing. Yeah. And also the first time, even though him and I had been writing together in a sense because I produced his last record, that we were writing together for that. This was the first time we were like writing together, like putting words together.
Like
and
we're a
band
like writing together.
Sort of, yeah. But what's funny is that it started off with literally just like as a way to pass time while we were on the road.
Yeah.
And by the end of it, like he said, we just found ourselves with a bunch of songs. So like, well, I guess we're a band now.
I wonder if that's how Simon and Garfunkel happened.
Well, so I was going to think that you guys are probably some of the only people who will ever interview us who will get this reference of a big inspiration early on was Frank Turner and John Snodgrass.
Yeah.
Their album Buddies that they would do. Mm-hmm. And the first one was him and Frank and John had sat and drank a bottle of whiskey and wrote, I think it was like 10 songs in a day and recorded them in a day.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I was like, that's a really cool concept. And so
we sat around, we drank an entire case of LaCroix.
Entire
we
case
got
of liquid
super
death.
hydrated.
Yeah. But that was kind of the idea. I was like, because I had never written lyrics with anybody before.
Really interesting.
And
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I had even like in my high school bands, I think it was kind of I was primarily the lyric guy, and
I usually am too.
Yeah, so I'd never actually sat down and like worked on lyrics with somebody else, and it was a nice change to kind of get to those points that you get to in a solo project where you're kind of hung up. Like I have a song I'm working on right now and I'm hung up on a line, and it's just that thing that bounces around in my head all day until you can find the right piece for it.
Yeah.
But when you're writing with somebody else, it's nice to kind of pass the buck to them.
Yeah,
in
and
that
they'll just
moment,
go, oh, it's just obviously this, and then you just move past it immediately.
Yeah, right. You know, so that was a nice change of pace and something that I think kind of allowed us to write the songs very naturally and in a flowy.
I love that. I feel like bands are greater than the sum of their parts, but that reason exactly, I'm sorry. What were you
saying? I was going to ask, like, did it feel at all like, like you're saying, you're the primary songwriter for the bands you're in, and you're the primary songwriter for your solo projects and stuff. So when you guys are doing this together, did it feel like one person was like, no, it really has to be like this or anything like that? Was there any kind of like, or did it just kind of blend? And just kind of just
we had any arguments whatsoever over?
Well, not friction, but did it feel like one person was taking more of a lead on stuff, or was it just song by song? Kind of
it would change by day.
Yeah, so I think there's definitely like there's songs where like there's a song that basically was written almost completely by Dominic that's on the record, and that's called 1 Foot. And I think that's not the whole title, right? It's 1 Foot.
No, I think
is it 1 Foot?
It's 1 Foot.
Okay, I don't remember. But that was basically written by him, and then Springfield, the song for Springfield, Where the Ghosts Are Home, was basically written by me. It was just kind of like whoever had the best idea wins kind of thing. It was super democratic.
That's how I do it with Keith.
Was honestly
exactly like that.
It was one of the easiest co-writing experiences that I've ever had, and I've written with shit tons of people.
Yeah,
and I've had to collaborate. I've been forced to collaborate with a lot of people as well. And this was like not a forced thing, but also too like we've been playing together. We understand each other's musical tendencies really well. I understand where he wants to go in a song. So a lot of times I'll be writing something and thinking about his voice while I'm writing it. Like, would he sound good? Right. I don't know. I can't speak for him because I'm not in his head. Thank God. Was it I don't know if he did that same thing for me when he was putting these songs together, but it's sort of along the same lines of that kind of thing where like we just sort of work together so much that it was easy to kind of.
That's a Killbillies thing too. When I'm writing for Killbillies, I can hear them in my head.
It's like knowing somebody.
Yeah.
Well, that's the other thing though. Like you guys have very distinctly different voices. Mm-hmm. So when you guys are writing, like you said, you got to be thinking of the other guy, whether you want to or not. You have to be thinking of the other vocal or whatever. But the stuff I've heard you guys play or whatever, I mean, just your voices just meld well together.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And that's sort of what started this, was that like people just kept saying that.
It just works.
Like, you guys sound really good together. So we were like, fuck it, let's just write some songs.
Yeah.
And I think in this context too, it allows us to explore different areas of our, at least for me, of my range. Like, these are some of the lowest songs in my register that I've ever done, because I'm not running around going blah and being the punk rock guy, And
these are for the first time. Most of these things are in my register.
Yeah.
I'm always shooting way above what I'm supposed to be.
Me
Yeah, like
too.
you. Yeah. I'm always shooting way above what I should be doing. And these are like some of the most comfortable songs to sing. Go on.
Yeah, I'm just learning that. This past couple of years, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to write a song that I don't
Why am I
worry
killing
about having to
myself?
sing. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it's also kind of like originally I think we thought we were consciously making the decision to make the songs as simple as they could be. Here's a G chord, here's a C chord, you're off and running.
Yeah.
I think it was like Woody Guthrie said, ain't anybody playing more than 2 chords is showing off.
We sing love songs in C, do politics in G.
Yeah. And it's that same thing. It's like the songs are simple. The songs are there. That's where like the folkiness really kind of comes in. It's just that they are, anybody can come to a show, watch us play, go home and play the songs.
Yeah.
There's nothing that's going to blow your mind.
But there's a beauty in that simplicity, though, because when you're watching the show, not even halfway through the song, you're singing along. I mean, the crowd's singing along with you because it is, there's that simplicity in there. Yeah, it's nice.
And there's a relatability in the music too, especially if people have traveled and done anything.
Sure.
If you've gone to other places anywhere, like some people have never traveled in their life, which is bizarre.
I imagine it's nice for them too, because they can live vicariously through it.
So this is like something that we've been saying we've been doing for this tour. We've been doing a lot of press, podcasts, blogs. So we did a local daytime talk show this morning.
That's cool.
And one of the things that we've been kind of hitting back on every time is that like we get to kind of go out into the world and we get to experience these things and come back and tell you about our experiences. So you get to see the world through our eyes.
Yeah.
We get to bring Minot, North Dakota back home. We get to bring Janesville, Wisconsin back home, which is a sort of like superpower that I didn't realize what was happening in that.
Yeah. That's cool.
Which is it's really nice.
Is that something that you're planning on leaning into going forward, writing wise?
I don't know.
What do you mean?
Well, I guess we would have to go on tour again to write more.
Well, yeah. I mean, like, so we wrote that the first tour was not a DDRB tour. So this tour coming up is the first time that we're going to be touring as a DDRB.
But that was an Amtrak thing. It was just the two of you guys doing solo.
He was Dominic solo. I was Ricky solo.
Okay.
Yeah.
And see, I didn't realize that you did Ricky solo stuff.
Which I essentially just played acoustic versions of Shake songs.
Well, and
then
he-
like an old folk.
I think
didn't
your
even
your
really
name
wanna
should be
come.
Ricky Solo when
Ricky
you play
solo.
solo.
It's me, Ricky S. I don't think it rhymes, and it doesn't work the same way.
Yeah, Ricky didn't even want to come.
I didn't.
On that.
I went kicking and screaming.
And
Oh, yeah, I remember.
the more that when we were in the process of making Bright Green, we started to kind of talk about this more, where, I had initially started doing the Amtrak tours by myself. And the first one, like in the Northeast, while it was really cool and was the start of all this, it wasn't necessarily uncommon, I don't think, to take trains in between those stops, because it's a very small and it's a small area, and it's kind of common to take trains around there. So the West Coast one was the first kind of big adventure. Can this survive on this scale? And both of those times I would come home and be like, I had this crazy experience with all these things. And then on the third one, I finally was able to convince him, like, hey, at the time too, I thought about this the other day. We billed it as the final Amtrak tour. It was supposed to be the end
last
of the
one,
idea. And it was going to kind of be the end of a book I was working on. And instead it just kind of started a whole new chapter of it.
Yeah, because we didn't realize that this is what I mean. Like I said, I didn't want to go, but I was like, all right, screw it. It's like one of those things. Like it's like how many times you get the opportunity to like spend
Exactly. Opportunity
2
cost
weeks
is-
going on a train, playing shows. Everything. This is an experience. Just like anything else we do with music, it's really an experience. Whenever you travel, it's never a money maker. It's always an experience. So I really was very reluctant about going. especially because I had to play by myself, which I really don't like doing.
You're good at it.
Thank you. I just don't. I like playing with the band. I like playing with other people. I like the interaction because on stage, it's really not the songs. It's really the interaction. Like when we're playing in between songs, we get to bullshit.
Sure.
When I'm by myself, who am I bullshitting with?
Right.
Yeah.
It's just like it seems so weird. So anyway, so like we just decided that we were going to. I think it was like the first day in Aurora that we were like, oh, let's just like write a song. Like, and we're like, what if we write a song in every city that we play in?
Nice.
And we just did it just to kill the time.
It's awesome.
pretty fun.
When I'm playing on my own, I get way more in my head about the songs. Sometimes when I'm playing on my own, it's very intense, and it doesn't feel the same way. It's more fun with a band. When I'm singing sad songs and I'm up there on my own, the pressure plus like kind of going more into lyrics can be like, it can be a lot sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, like you have the whole thing riding on your shoulders. You're the only thing that's paying attention. But like Dominic's been doing it for so long.
Yeah.
And like we've done multiple tours where it was the Shake with Dominic as an acoustic opener.
I have such a like code of honor about the acoustic opener. I feel like it's a dying breed almost, where like the acoustic opener, I feel like that used to be a relatively common thing. You would go to a show and there would probably be like 3 killer bands and there'd be an acoustic
Even
opener.
massive shows.
Yeah, massive shows. Like I'm talking like 1,500 cap shows and stuff. Flogging Molly, like they're a band that always took out an acoustic opener.
I have a friend. He had made a whole thing when he lived in New York out of being the acoustic opener in massive. But he had a friend who was a booking agent for big places, and like he opened for some loads of huge bands, just him and his guitar, just because he had a great contact, and it's cool.
Well, and I think that there's a sense of pride that you should have as the acoustic opener, where it's like you understand the job. Your job is to prepare people for something that is going to be sonically larger than what you are currently doing.
Yeah.
And you set up the band that's coming on
Like
after
the
you.
ramp to the actual.
Yeah. And it's a perfect
Focusing
I think
people's
it's
attention a bit too.
yeah, I think it's like the Homeless Gospel Choir. I saw him open for Frank Turner acoustic, and he was amazing. And like, I wouldn't necessarily say he's the best like technical musician, like guitar player or singer or anything, but he was entertaining and he had everybody's attention and set the show up really well. So like, I always took pride in being a really, really good opener. And still do, because I think that's like a versatility that you can have where, okay, if I can't take the full band out, but I get an opportunity to go on a 2-month run as an acoustic opener, I can do that.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, you're very good at it. You've been doing it for a long time, and you've played a ton of shows. You know, at this point, it's like breathing to you. You're very good at it.
I love that like almost a jealousy, if you will, of that you guys as solo artists or even as an acoustic duo, like you could say, we're going to do this.
Right.
And you just grab your guitars and go.
Yeah.
Like there's
don't
no
need-
like worrying about, the van and the 14 people that have to be with you and the ridiculous amounts of gear and the what. You just grab your guitars and go. You can get on a plane, you can get on a bus, you can get on a train, you can go anywhere.
Yeah.
You could ride a bike if you wanted to.
It's
Like being a
honestly,
DJ.
I mean, that definitely has crossed my mind. It's one of those things where I never realized it could be this easy.
Yeah.
And then once we started doing it, it was like one of those things like, we can take over the world like this. It was like, it was mind boggling when I realized, because also too, like booking tours, you think about, with the Shake and with Dominic's full band, we have to like worry about like, sound systems, clubs, everything like that.
And
now we could book coffee shops. We could book, we're playing a place
in Savannah.
Called what?
It's not, I don't know if it's a place or just a collection of things that are called the Ruins.
The Ruins, yeah.
Oh,
and there was
cool.
like discussion of like who was going to pick up the generator and stuff like that. And it's like those type of shows don't happen for punk rock bands for the most part.
Yeah.
No.
So it's like
Killbillies needs 12 inputs, and we're an acoustic trio. Like, what does that mean?
yeah, and
What
the
are
thing
you
is like we did I think last year prepping for the first Amtrak tour we did together. We did the 2-day tour. We did 10
Yeah.
shows in 2 days.
Something like that.
Yeah, so we did 10 shows in 2 days. We tried to recreate that this year, and we just waited too long to start the booking. We wound up pivoting to Record Store Day tour.
Right.
So we did like 5 record stores.
That was
on
at
Record Store Day.
DDRB.
And that was at DDR. That was one of the first
Where were
like
those
DDRB
again?
We started, we did Banana Records in St. Pete. Then we went over to Jesse Carl Vinyl in Lakeland, then Triangle Vinyl in Claremont, before ending at Park Ave CDs in Orlando.
Yeah, so we wound up doing 4 shows, and they were, aside from the first one, were all busking shows.
Yeah.
So we literally stood outside of the
Record store.
stores and just played our acoustic guitars.
So they weren't actually booked. Like,
They knew we were coming.
They knew we were coming.
They knew we were coming, and they knew that we were coming for Record Store Day. But like Jesse Carl Vinyl in Lakeland was a very small place, probably about the quarter size of this room.
Yeah.
So there was no room for us to play in there, and he said, "You're more than welcome to stand outside." And we said, "We'll take that."
So we did,
And we made a couple bucks.
we made a couple bucks at
Did you
almost
have
every
the
show.
Venmo sign and all that
Nope.
stuff?
No, we just had a
Cash.
a
Guitar case.
guitar case. That was
cash only.
You know, that was my primary source of income for about 2 years in Manchester, but that's when you could still sell CDs.
Yeah.
And I used to make some money in the thing, but we'd sell like 30 CDs. There was 3 of us. We'd sell like 30 CDs a day, and that's like $100 each just from the CDs. And then like that was where all the money was. And now it's like, but
now you have to
I
sell
guess
like
Venmo,
stickers and stuff like that. It's like people are still into tangible things.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's like
I just
we're
saw-
reverting back to some of the tangible things that people could sell before.
I just saw something last night about, I think I even sent it to you. I looked into the company. I don't think it's feasible for us, but Target teamed up with this thing called Tiny Vinyl in their little 4-inch vinyls.
Oh yeah, I remember you told me about that.
Really small. They're like,
Yeah, I've seen that.
But they sound like shit, right?
probably.
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah,
they're
it's
made
more
out
of a
of plastic or
novelty,
something. Yeah, I think that's
But
what
at
they're
this point
saying.
in time,
It's like a
CDs are a
collectible
novelty
novelty.
too. So.
Yeah.
What's that one though? There is one that'll do like no minimum, and they'll just do. And apparently the turnaround is pretty quick. There's a new company that's doing it.
Well, there's Elastic Stage, which is like a no free ads. Beep that out. Where it's kind of
Unless
like
you
an
want to
on-demand
I was going to say, unless you want to throw
Yeah,
some
unless you want
sponsorship.
to help me with my order.
Yeah,
But I believe it's on-demand service.
yeah. Someone was telling me about one recently.
There's a couple of them now.
Yeah.
But the problem is that they're usually lathe cut
Yeah.
records, and they
Those are
usually sound like shit.
Those are kind of rough. We had the opportunity. We did the Least of All thing. That was actually on the first.
Did we ever
Amtrak
reach back out to them about this one?
No,
Damn it.
no, because we are going back to Brooklyn.
We are going back.
But we got to do that, and that was kind of the live recording, unique vinyl thing.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah,
they had they had some sort of system where they could run the live tracks to be directly recorded onto these like clear 7 inches. That was kind of cool.
They are pretty cool, aren't they? Those they don't sound very good.
No.
but it is
No,
cool.
No.
But the thing is now, I think it almost makes it's super like vintage sounding.
Totally.
Like they
I was-
just released this whole entire Woody Guthrie two record thing that was like all his home recordings, and it's like the early versions of like Hobo's Lullaby and all
Yeah.
that stuff like that. And they're so terrible sounding,
Totally.
but there's such a beautiful quality to it.
Yeah,
And I think we're sort of reverting back there. People are getting really, especially now with AI and shit.
Yeah.
People are getting so sick of everything being so goddamn polished.
yeah, I agree with that.
And that's where we come in.
You know,
the
I've been
unpolished musician.
thinking about that a lot in terms of like what to do with should I want to do some kind of album in the future? And I was just thinking of all of the things you could do in it that would like make it human that AI just wouldn't think of to do. Like I don't know, just things in the middle of songs, and like maybe do one song where the guitar's just like out of tune and stuff like that.
Will Varley just put out a really good folk album called Machines Will Never Make Mistakes Like Me. And I was just like, I heard that. And I was like, that is perfect. And
Ricky and
listened
I
to
have
it
an
front
idea
to
for
back.
a
It was
tune a bit
amazing.
like that, but I can't go any further because I don't know. Someone will
You gotta
steal
get
it.
back on that. No, I think it's like now one of the beauties of what we do is it is hard to be machine replicated, because we have to go physically to these places, experience these things, and then essentially report back with what we experience.
Yeah.
And that's not something that AI can do.
This
Yeah.
intelligence is all natural, baby.
You brag about it.
That's all I got.
Yeah. I think the good thing about live performances with instruments isn't going anywhere, because how can it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And And then, it's not like we're selling tons of pristine music to make a living anyway. So we don't really have to worry too much about that side of it. The thing which is a bit of a shame is things like a lot of people getting put out of work who've made stuff for TV and,
they're screwed.
I liked your argument, or not your argument, your point the other day, though, that like pop music
is essentially
AI by default.
Yeah.
I stole that from somebody. I don't remember who exactly said it, but I think it was Jesse Wells who said it. And he was like, yeah, pop music has been essentially AI for a long time now.
Yeah.
But I also I posted something on my Instagram that I got a lot of comments about, and it was sort of on both sides, saying that I want people to make more AI music. Make as much AI music as possible so that we can get fucking over it and back to the real shit.
Totally.
Because that's the thing. What happens is that something becomes popular and it just becomes this massive thing and everybody gets sick of it.
Yeah.
So let's just do it. Let's just get it over with. Yeah. And eventually, because all of these AI bands and everything like that, they're dominating Spotify.
Yeah.
But you can't fucking go see them in concert.
Yeah.
You can't see them live.
Right.
So unless people are covering these AI songs, then what are you going to do?
They'll figure out a way to be able to for you to be able to do that pretty quick, I'm sure. But
holograms.
But
yeah, but the amount of money it would take to do that.
Yeah,
like using Suno, it doesn't cost you shit, and it's like this, and you have whatever songs you want.
I made some funny things. I made a Suno made that 561 music
no free ads
thing. Yeah,
no free ads. Bleep that out. Actually, fuck Suno. The CEO of Suno actually had the fucking balls to go onto a podcast and say that all the things about music that people really like is just listening to it. Making music is not fun. Like, motherfucker, who are you to say that?
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, and I went through the roof when he said that. And this is a guy
that's
who is
all I do all day long.
That's literally you are just denigrating an entire community that would probably be would use your program to be able to better their music, but then shitting on them and saying that none of that's fun and it's all useless anyways. We can do it with that.
I think he's one of these people that maybe equates fun to easy.
He's a tech bro dickhead. That's why.
Yeah. Because part of the fun of it is that it's hard and frustrating.
Yeah. Well, like going back to what we do, like the fun of what we do is, if we're writing our songs are about our experiences.
Right.
So if we experience nothing, we don't write anything.
Right.
And I've never written, he writes very biographical.
Yeah.
He lives something, he puts it in a song. And he says, this is a song about this.
Yeah.
But if I write about things that go on, but in more of metaphor.
Yeah.
So you can listen to a Shake tune and I know exactly what it's about, but you have no fucking clue.
Yeah, totally.
And you mean you're not a lion? Shut up. I can't hear you roar.
So one of the things that was very different about this project was essentially I had to do that for the first time, write biographically.
Kind of more on the nose.
Never done that. To talk about
honestly, so you can really hear.
Yeah, so that I'm not only when I tell you that you listen to the song, you go, oh, there's a story here. They're talking about people. But when I tell you what happened that made me write the song or made us write the song, and then you listen to the song, you start to we talk about
it's very expressionist. It's kind of like modern art of that. Yeah.
So we have a I keep going back to this one song, but Where the Ghosts Are Home is from Springfield, Illinois, and we talk about how the city was very creepy, and it was very ghostly, and we felt like the whole place was haunted and everything like that. And the song is called Where the Ghosts Are Home. But the first line is hoping that a spirit doesn't follow us home. When we tell the story about how it was so spooky and ghostly, and then we play the song, everybody laughs because they're in on the joke. They understand what's going on.
Right.
Before, it's I could tell a whole story about something, and then when I play the song, you have to really listen for the clues to understand what's referencing what.
Sure.
So this was a totally different thing for me that I've never done before.
Yeah.
And he sort of brought me out of my shell on it, and now I'm obsessed with it.
Nice.
Well, it goes to I know that I've probably talked to everybody in this room about the wince before, where when you're writing, if you have a line that kind of makes you wince a bit, you have to keep it. That's that's the telltale sign of a good line.
Yeah.
And sometimes it is very on the nose, but I don't think either of us could have expected the type of like emotional reactions we got once we started to bring these songs out. You know, Kenny had set up a show in his backyard. And after that, I mean, we had people coming up in tears. We had people laughing. Like it was crazy. It was something that I didn't really expect.
People, there's been a great response to it, and you know, and it's all deserved. The songs are great, the performances are great, and it's all coming from, you know, a place of honesty and, you know, passion and hard work. So, it's nice when things come together, isn't it, for a change?
Yeah,
you know,
it's so weird because like when we wrote the record and we had the whole entire thing together, our first thought was like, oh, we should do like a theater style show for this type of show. And then Kenny was like, would you mind coming and playing the whole record cover to cover in our backyard? And I was like, Don, this is like the chance to be able to test this out and see if it works.
Yeah.
And it went off like gangbusters. So then we did the one at Brewhouse, which was like the first like official one. And we sold the place out. Like it was standing room only.
That's so cool.
And the same exact situation where people were coming up to us like, those songs were so great. But the stories, we love the stories, and we love your banter, and we love everything that, you know, learning about how you guys did this and everything like that was really interesting. And that's a reaction that I've never gotten before.
Yeah.
Like I've always heard like, oh, you guys are really good.
right.
Yeah,
You guys rocked. But never like, oh, like I really connected with this, or like every once in a while from like certain people, and mostly like people in like small circles, but people I've never met. That just came to the show, but a friend brought them. And so that was the first time when I, like, Kenny's was really the first time we both walked away, but like, I think we got something here. Like, this is cool.
On the rare times that's happened to me, I have to say that those are the times that I like hang my self-worth on, you know. It's like when people say things like that to me, and I can tell they mean it. It means so much to me.
It's worth more than any dollar.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, for however much you make on a project, it's like because essentially that's what we're doing this for. Like you're doing this for that connection. You're doing it to be able to express yourself and have people understand, you know, where you're coming from and agree with your point of view. As well, or disagree, you know, have some type of emotional reaction with how you're feeling about things.
Totally.
So like that sort of like, that was just like, it was an incredible moment.
Nice one.
There's a certain intimacy though when it comes to the acoustic though, like the acoustic acts. You know, you're not hiding behind a whole band. You know, when you're up on a stage and you got all these people around you and it's a big stage or whatever. Yeah, there's people right there. They're moshing or whatever, but there is still kind of a barrier, if you will, like almost this invisible barrier.
Right.
When you're doing an acoustic act, and we see it, you know, every month at the singer-songwriter that you've been a part of.
3 months in a row, I burst into tears watching bands.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and so these acoustic acts, there's a certain intimacy when you're watching it, and then they're telling, especially like the way you guys are doing it, you're telling the story. People are making that connection. Then they hear the song and go, oh yeah, okay, that's what they were talking about, and just all of it kind of clicking together. Yeah, I mean, I can see where there's just this crazy connection with the audience, you know.
Well, that's where I think it's great that you guys are doing those you know, rounds type of events, because for a long time it seemed like there weren't a lot of acoustic events anymore going on in our music scene. Because I remember when I started playing out in probably like 2017 or so, there was a few, you know, and there was still kind of, you can go to a 4-bill acoustic act and people would go, but
and a lot of open mics too. There's not nearly as many.
Yeah, there used to be a lot of open mics. But yeah,
just need like concerned citizen benefactors to like be bothered to put them on, you know. And it's like, so it's just it's our, like, you know, responsibility right now, you know.
Yeah, well, you guys are doing a great job.
Find some other people to do it, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice because that event sort of brings back some of the magic. Like, I think that like 561 Music podcast in general has always had this mission of sort of bringing this scene back to life.
Right.
And, you know, what we've done, what you guys have done with the podcast, what we've done with the festival, and then now with the songwriter night, and, you know, whatever we plan on doing in the future. I can say we now. Whatever we plan on doing in the future is sort of with that agenda in mind.
Yeah.
And it's really nice because, like, of course, who's going to bring, you know, acoustic shows back but you guys? It would just make the most sense to do that. So, I mean, coming from that's where, like, open mics is where both of us cut our teeth in South Florida for so long.
You know, when I first moved here, those were the first gigs I had, that's for sure.
And, like, but the communities that surrounded that, was just something that it has yet to be replicated in a long time.
I mean, there was a period of time when I first started playing out that I was playing an open mic every night.
Yeah, there was so many great ones.
There was a ton of them for years. There was a ton of them.
Everywhere.
And then they
You
just
could find
slowly
them.
started dying out.
You could just
Gary
you
Frost
just
is still
Facebook
holding his corner.
Florida
Yeah.
open mic.
Yeah, it sucks. And like, if you're watching this and you have any inclination of starting an open mic, like, please do.
Just do it.
Yeah.
We need
All
more
these breweries
people
down here.
100. Yeah, I mean, like, well, Propaganda's doing an open mic now,
Yep.
which is good, and they do
Yeah.
that like first Thursday of every month or something like that. Yeah, I don't know the exact date.
Yeah, people that put on open mics, unsung heroes. you
Yeah.
know? It's like an important. It's just like an outlet. It's a way for people who untested people to just find out what it's like.
And it's a lot of work, I understand, but I mean, like, it benefits the community, the music community, so much to
Yeah.
be able to have a proving ground for. Because I mean, like, I've met some of my, some of my closest musical friends at open mics because I just went there and they just happened to show up on the same day.
Yeah.
So it's weird.
I remember that community that was a Swamp Grass Willie's, which was the one, one of the ones near us, and like some of the I think that's where I met Virgil actually, and it's where I met.
They tried to bring it back recently and it didn't work.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, well, Jordan Laurenti was the one that was hosting it.
Right. Okay.
And I think it was like every Wednesday.
Yeah,
I think
That's when
that's
it
the
was.
hard thing is when they try to do an open mic like that, an open mic night, whoever's hosting it, essentially has to carry the night if nobody shows
So
up.
that's
Yeah.
not
That's-
a job I want.
And that's
the
a
hard part.
consistency thing too. Of like, you've got it. You can't. It's not the type of thing where you can be like, hey, let's try this for 4 weeks or 2
Yeah.
months or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you have to stick with it for a long time
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
build
and it's-
your group.
It's great if 30 people show up, but if you have two people that sign up, suddenly whoever's hosting it has to play a whole lot of music.
Well, there used to be the nonsense of going to an open mic and they would be like, you get one song. And I'd be like, motherfucker, I just drove 45 minutes to get here.
I'm playing more than one
playing
goddamn
more
song.
than more than one song.
Yeah.
But that's where, like, now it's like, oh no, like, look at how we had it. We had these open mics that were so packed
Yeah.
that you
Yeah.
could only play one song.
Yeah.
And now you go to an open mic, they'll be like, can you do 45?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the shitty part about it now. But I mean, like, I think that, we could probably frequent whatever open mics are available more often. But for us, it's like, I know I am just extremely busy and it's really hard for me to be able to find time to do that stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, I still think there's a lot of people out there that are searching for that sort of like home base for when they start. I mean, like, you're going to be playing. No, we're not talking about that.
Oh, we be talking about
Yeah. So you're going to be doing that. But see, like that, like, you would take that to an open mic and you would perform at an open mic because you would probably only get one song, like you said. So you get to go up there.
Theoretically, yes, but instead...
instead you're going to play 6 songs. You're
Oh,
gonna tell
no,
all
I'm
these
playing
stories.
8 songs.
8
Nice.
songs.
And tell all the stories.
Yeah, it's perfect. He's gonna be fine. This
Talk
guy,
about
Yeah,
little
you're great.
wolves,
he's a
man.
dark horse. He'll be fine.
But
I
it's
figure,
like,
can we be there?
it's like,
When is
go
this?
for broke, man. Like, it's either all or nothing. It's
it's
either
the
going to
Sunday
work.
before we leave.
Sunday
I'm actually
before we leave, we're there.
I've
I'm
been
there.
struggling really hard to find a fourth person. I'm starting to think that I might have to do it myself. But the only person in this room who's never done it is you, Ricky.
Yeah.
You want to do it?
No. I almost was on it once.
Ricky Shakes.
And then scheduling conflicts happened. And that was like, the best part was like, yeah, I'm not going to put you on this end. Cool. And it's with Sierra Lane, Sam King, and
yeah.
Joey Calderay. And I was like, what the fuck, bro? Like, why are you putting me all these heavy hitters?
You underestimate. So
So yeah, no, I eventually will do it, but I'm just like, I'm on the fence. I'd like to do it with the two of us. I think
Yeah.
that would be fun. You know?
So
I don't know. I always feel we clog a lot of stage space, man.
I was going to ask you actually real quick, and it might be a funny thing to ask you on camera in case your reaction is funny. If I end up, would you be more or less awkward if I was doing it because I couldn't find another guest?
I don't know. I've actually thought about. I've thought about that.
I'm married.
Where if you were there, we could potentially do some duo stuff or whatever. But I'll talk to you off camera about it.
Yeah,
There was a lot of stuff in my head about it.
Oh, there's stuff in your head.
Crying
Okay.
very,
shoulder.
very little bit. But as far as you guys doing like a singer-songwriter night, as a duo, I've actually had at least 2 or 3 other acts that have asked me like, "Hey, I'd love to do your singer-songwriter act.
Yes.
We're a duo," and I've said, "Sorry, it's just solo."
Yeah, I was thinking about doing
but
3 duos.
It would be cool to do even 2 or 3 duos or whatever.
2
and
duos
do-
could probably work.
and do
Just
it that
bounce
way.
between
That would
different
actually be
Or
kind
it
of
could
cool.
be
night.
half the night is 2 duos and the other half the night is the other 2
It'd be pretty cool. I would. My first thing that comes to my mind
This
is
turned into a 561 music planning.
planning.
Anyone who's in a duo, get in touch. Doing a duo.
Little things.
Let
duo.
us know in the comments.
Little things
Yeah.
duo. I think that would be a really cool thing.
Yeah.
DDRB and the little things duo.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'd love
Totally.
to play with them. But
great.
it's really cool because like this project itself has the opportunity to play so many types of shows.
Yep.
Yeah.
So like we did today, we played 3 songs for that talk show. Where it's kind of spread out, and we did like some talking in between, some interview stuff.
Only one guitar though, right?
Well, yeah, well, because I found my string.
Yeah.
Was it and then yeah, if you want to see a video of us playing 2 of our songs where I'm just sitting there and singing, it's
Full on, like, I don't
Garfunkel.
know what to do with my hands.
I was like literally like my hands were like it was very bizarre. I almost got the tambourine out of my backpack. I'm really happy I did not.
You
do
should have
that.
brought a big ginger afro.
It was not good. But no, it actually went really well. Anyways, what I was saying was, so we do that show, and then we can play, like we're going on tour, and we're doing these like regular shows. We're playing like 5 or 6 songs, something like that. Then we can also do the theater show, where we play the whole record back to back and do all the storytelling. We could do a condensed version of that. We can play with we can open for band. We have so many opportunities with this one project.
Yeah.
Just because of the nature of it.
Yeah.
Hillbillies is the same. It's it's like
you
a
guys
Swiss
can
Army
kinda
knife.
fit into so
Right.
many different places that like his full band or the Shay couldn't really squeeze into a lot of those things.
Yeah.
First of all, the Shay could never be acoustic. That just can't happen.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So it's like one of those things where like we're only relegated to doing those heavy type shows.
Yeah.
Here we can literally slot into anything we want.
Totally.
Which is the
It's liberating.
versatility,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
fluidity
Fluidity.
of the project.
Malleability.
Yeah, that's a word. That makes it super easy to be able to book a bunch of different shows, which is really cool because we
Yeah.
can exist in so many different worlds.
I think one of the things I told Hector when he joined is like, the good thing about this is like we could play someone's wedding, we could play a festival, we could play like someone's backyard.
Yeah.
We can
Coffee
play
shop,
with
yeah.
rock bands, we can play on the street. We could, that's the cool thing about like, a strong acoustic act that can make a lot of noise if necessary, but doesn't have to. It's a very, very, it's awesome. You can do anything with it.
And surprisingly, we've never played a show together.
It's
What,
insane.
DDRB and the Killbillies?
Yeah.
No. Well, I mean, to be fair, we haven't done many local shows.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say,
we
to be fair, DDRB was like born yesterday.
Yeah,
Whoa,
fair.
So-
Hey,
Yeah, no,
pal.
that's true. That's true.
Hey,
that's true. We've only
Yeah,
played,
we need-
how many shows have we played in total now?
I don't even know if maybe we're in double digits by now. Yeah, I think the Record Store Day tour put us into double digits. So
Like
I think
11
like
or something like
13
that?
shows or something like that.
Let's
so
plan a show.
not-
Let's do one at the Brewhouse Gallery in like October or November or something.
Yeah, we got to do a show together and we
Sure.
got to do a song together.
Oh, I
too.
know.
We've talked about this.
I know
many times.
somebody's releasing a book in November.
Oh.
Yeah.
Who could that be?
I think it would be me.
Let's hear about it.
Time for props.
There we go.
Bam.
So I don't know which camera Justin's controlling.
The one with the red light.
There you go, buddy. So
He's
this
going to
is-
start switching it on.
I
you
know.
now, though.
This is playing to nobody and sometimes everybody. It's not for resale yet. But it's my book about kind of the birth of this duo project and the Amtraks that led up to that final one. And yeah, it comes out November 17th. The pre-order is up now for Kindle.
November 17th.
November 17th.
2 days before my birthday.
That's why
That's the
I
reason
did
why
it.
he did it,
That's what I thought.
obviously.
Why I did it.
You want to do it all on your birthday?
didn't
so
wanna-
you
we
can-
don't wanna
overshadow.
I didn't want to compete with your birthday, but yeah, it took a really long time to finish. It's about 30,000 words, and
Very proud of that.
I'm very proud of that. It's actually 32,000 words.
Proud of all those
If we're
Proud of them words.
we're gonna be
I'm especially proud of like the last 100.
Yeah.
It was just, I don't know how you did that.
Yeah. Well, hey, me either.
He's been messing around with this idea for a while, writing like he journaled the entire time like a dork when we were on the tour.
I'm so impressed. I was joking then, but I'm impressed. I'm jealous.
I'm jealous. I've said the same thing to my wife. I was like, I'm so fucking jealous that he actually finished this goddamn book.
I've got
because
so much writing
I
to
want to
say.
do one too, and now I'm like, but he did it.
It sucked.
Right.
We can all
It
do it. We
sucked.
can be like an authors club.
Well, like
I'll stick to children's books. Makes things easier.
when I finished it. So when I finished it, like I remember the night that I finished it, because there was like a 2 or 3 day writing period where like I could kind of see the end. I knew the end was coming, and I was just like, I think I even had texted you. I'm like, I'm into the Nashville part of our story, and
Nice.
By the writing the end and kind of setting up, where we are today in the project, like it was emotional. And then it was weird because like you finish and you type the last sentence or whatever, and it's emotional, and then it's like, I finished writing a book. But then like you wait like 2 hours, like, all right, I gotta go back and look again and like peek
the
under the
editing
hood and
process
do it all over again. And by then you would think like, okay, like you had the emotional moment when you finished it, but I had to do it like 5 more times, and each one kept getting emotional. And I was like sitting in my kitchen, like crying at this like book, but it took a long time to finish. And
I believe it.
And like the worst part of writing a book, in my opinion, was like there would be like these month-long periods where I wouldn't write.
Sure.
And then
But you got onto a tear at the end where it was just like you were up until
I got an
God knows how long, God knows how late, and you're like, finish this chapter. I would just wake up to text messages, finish this chapter.
Yeah, I mean, because that's where once I started to kind of see the end, it became more real.
It's motivational. You just want to get there at that point.
And then like then
You became
becomes,
addicted to finishing.
Then becomes the tedious part though of like trying to go back and be objective and edit and.
Did you have any? Did you have any editors like go over it?
I had my stepmom. My stepmom has her master's. Both my parents are English teachers. English. That's the word I get wrong. Right?
I'm an English teacher.
Yeah. But my stepmom has her master's, and I sent it to her, and she gave me some critiques.
Yeah.
She didn't bullshit me, which was cool.
Nice.
And yeah, so I went back and just finished it, and now I have a book.
All right,
I'm an author.
So crazy question about your book. I assume, like all books, at some point there will be an audio version of it.
Yeah, that's correct.
Hey, that's the first question
Everybody asks. Well, so I
Well,
didn't realize
hang
how
on.
popular
In all fairness,
audiobooks
okay,
were.
I hate reading books. Right.
Same.
Every once in a while, I'll pick something up. It'll look interesting. Somebody will recommend it. Something like this that I'll really want to read. I just can't get through it, and it's my mind's always racing. So I get to the end of the page and I go, "What did I just fucking read?"
Yeah,
and but when I
Get to
listen
the end of the page, start reading the same page again.
Yeah.
God damn it!
But when I listen to it, I can listen to the whole book. I can listen to the whole book, whether it's fiction or whatever. And so my question is, if you could pick any voice at all to be the audio version of your book,
that's a good question.
Which voice would you pick?
It is a good question. I thought you were
obviously
the answer would be
Frank
Feiner.
Feiner.
No, I thought you were saying a hard question. I was like, this is the easiest question of my
Morgan
life.
Freeman.
Aquila. Aquila. I would have Aquila do the audio
That's
version of my book.
Fucking amazing.
No, now he has to do that. He has to at
Okay,
least
you need
read
a
the
little bit
forward.
of Aquila's voice. I'm going to cut it in right now.
God, I will find you the most beautiful clip of that.
my God.
that is the answer.
That's 100%.
Aquila just got an iPhone, so
Yeah.
beware.
Yeah.
If you start getting blue
Start
text
blue
messages from
messages
somebody
from
who doesn't
Aquila.
speak English, it may be Aquila.
I'm gonna have him do the Portuguese version and the English version.
That's fantastic.
That's great. Yeah, no, we definitely will be doing an audiobook for it.
It only.
It's
it
honestly
makes
the
sense.
only way I'm going to read the book.
Yeah, and you have to
Right.
write the foreword, so we kind of have to do it soon.
Yeah, but see, this is the best part: is I get to write the foreword. I don't have to read the book yet because I
Well, you were
lived
there.
most of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you were
So I was
there.
like, oh,
Fair enough.
I could be able to do this. But yeah,
Well,
I
and
should
that's
get on
where,
that.
like, early on, like, on the very first Amtrak tour, you were there for the very beginning.
Yes, I was.
Because the beginning of that was the full band recording. So we flew into New York. You were there, and it
the only
kinda-
train we were on was the Long Island Railroad.
we took the subway and we took the LIRR
Yeah, but
out to the
the
island.
subway to me is
doesn't
not
really
a train.
count.
I mean, like it's a train, but it's not a train. I mean,
But it kind of worked out perfectly in the context of the book because if it wasn't a real story, if I was looking at this as a fictional story, it was like setting up characters almost, where Ricky kind of is a character in the beginning, and then we see this transition into this different music project that continues to stumble on new ideas accidentally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's basically the whole entire thing. Is like we did, like I said before, we wrote the songs just to pass the time. By the time we got to the end of it, we were like, "Huh."
Well, something that I've always admired about the way that you do things, Dom, is there's always a plan, a sense to it, and this is
That's a
and there's-
wonderful
Wow.
trick. That's a wonderful trick.
and there's two things I'll say about that, which is it's ironic that the way that you guys came together was not planned, but it's also very clever and sensible that the band literally has a book as an origin story.
Yeah.
What a great place to start.
Well, we even had I had an idea earlier today that just kind of came from a joke that I think should 100% happen, which
100%?
is 100%. I think should happen 100%. I think that Ricky should have to do the children's version of my book.
So funny because you were saying earlier that when he said that you should write a book and you said I only write children's books, right? The first thing I thought of was each song should be a children's book.
Oh yeah, that's a good
It
idea.
could be.
I want to write songs for
Listen,
really,
I
really
haven't even
old
written
people.
the forward for this fucking book.
No, I can't get
Can you guys pump the brakes
But-
a little bit on the other shit I got to do?
Because like thinking about specifically my Not North Dakota, we played a bookstore on a Monday night and had a great show. But I remember when we set up like our merch in the back of this little performance area, we looked to our left and on the wall was a sign that said E is for Empire Builder, which was the name of the train that we were on.
Right.
And it was kind of just like this very blatant sign of how important this train was to this community. Like it's a commuter train. It's also how they go and visit family. It's how they get to the coast. It's all this different stuff. But it was just something that I remember when that stuck out to me. We were even toying with the idea of like E is for Empire Builder, D is for DDRB or whatever we were joking about for the rest of that tour.
Yeah.
Well, it's like that. What he was saying about the Empire Builder is that like the only public transportation, the only way like to get into Minot, North Dakota, it's like 2 hours away from an airport.
Yeah.
And it's nowhere near a fucking coast or anything like that. So the Empire Builder, the train itself, is the only way that travelers from other places come to Minot, North Dakota. So
that's
it's
the other
essentially
cool-
a large part of their economy.
I remember you talking about that before, and it's really, really nice to be taken back there because every time I'm told these stories, they become a little more real for me. And I think that's one of the attractive things about the band is that, you can keep revisiting these things and slowly build up a kind of like a mental picture of like the travels you've been on, the people you are, and it's a communication. I think it's actually the more that I'm exposed to this project, and I know you both pretty well these days as people, but the project not so much. But I'm slowly getting to know it more and more. The more I like it, I just think it's a very, very good idea.
I think that there's a lot of like there's an aspect of like self-searching, but then there's also something, at least from my perspective, of where a lot of people right now have this opinion or want to have these generalized opinions of like our country and the USA and stuff and haven't left their hometown.
Yeah.
Or experience
Keyboard warriors that have no idea what the world is actually like.
Or have gone to Los Angeles, or have gone to
And this works for
New York
every side of the
City
fence too.
and stuff.
I 100% agree with this. It's something that because oh my god, I agree with this.
And that's where it's like
if
we're
you-
gonna go.
yeah.
We're gonna go look and see what Wichita, Kansas looks like, and we're gonna go see as much of the country as will have us.
And I think a part of it too is like, don't take our word for it.
No,
Yeah.
Like
go do it
we're
yourself.
reporting back for what we saw, but like we had a great time in some places, we didn't have a great time in other places, but that's just our opinion.
Yeah.
And like you can't, to me, and I think we both feel this way, you can't form an opinion about a place unless you've actually been there and experienced it.
Well, one of the really cool things about the way you guys are doing this, though, with the whole like the trains and the Amtrak tour and everything, is you made the comment how where you guys were, the closest airport was 2 hours away or something. That wouldn't have been a place that you guys normally would have toured had you have been touring by plane or even by bus and stuff.
Well, that's where.
But because it was trains, you guys are hitting these places. Yeah, you might be hitting big places. You were talking about Vegas and stuff like that. There's bigger places you hit, but there's all these little out of the way places that you wouldn't normally hit that you're discovering, and they're getting to hear music that they wouldn't normally get to hear. So it's awesome for everybody.
If you think about like traditional touring in vans or RVs or whatever thing with wheels you have, like you see a lot of music venues, you see a lot of diners, and you see a lot of truck stops. But if you want to really go see a city for what it is, go there and ride the public transportation. Take the bus to your hotel.
Yeah, because you meet the people.
Don't take the e-bus in
Don't
Seattle,
take the e-bus to your hotel, but
after 10 p.m.
It's something that I've been sort of waiting to say. Actually, it's called public transportation for a reason. You meet the people of the city. The real.
We've seen some wild shit on buses.
Yeah, man.
But like this one dude hopped on a bus. Is this in the book?
This was
about the keyboard guy.
No.
Okay,
no,
so
you can go ahead.
There's one dude just comes up. This was in Seattle, right? Yeah. And he just hops on the bus with a full ass Casio keyboard.
Right.
And this dude is just like, he's got a beat rolling. He's playing some song. We have a recording of it. I gotta find it somewhere. It's like really, really hard to hear. But I was like, we have to track this and put this in something. And it was literally like he's like writing a song with a full Casio keyboard, and he's holding it like this.
That's the most 80s thing I've ever heard.
It was so insane. It was like, but the shit that we saw on buses alone, was nuts. And I would, like nowadays, like, when's the last time you took a public bus?
When I was like sort of like 25 or something.
That's what I'm saying. So like, and
that's not true. I've done it in Europe since, but not a long time.
But what I'm saying is that like, so Europe is probably built differently where people, it's like New York City. Like if you're in New York City or if you're in Los Angeles, public transportation is probably, maybe not too much in Los Angeles, but if you're in New York City, public transportation is pretty common. But a lot of places,
it's not.
It's not. Like down here, it's not as common. Like there's a lot of buses and shit like that, but most people drive and everything like that. So like the people that are on those buses are a group of people that you will never in your life interact with unless you take those buses.
Totally.
So it's like we get to see a completely different side. Not only are we going to these places that people don't go to, we get to see people that even if they did go there, they probably wouldn't interact with these people.
Right.
Yeah, 100%. And that's the tied into just one of the things I realized about life after getting sober as well, and doing things like service related things and like things with members of my family that I don't usually do, is there's a big wide world out there that you're missing if you don't partake in these things.
Yeah, exactly.
And like 99.9% of the time you're going to be just fine, even if it's like not the most perfectly sanitary and credible conditions or whatever. You'll be fine,
like to follow that train of thought, like going to our sobriety, train of thought, going to like our sobriety, I still smoke my weed every now and again, but we don't drink and we're not really hard partiers. Ricky's in bed early all the time and stuff.
As early as possible.
But to me, at least, like when I got sober and decided that, I was still going to pursue music, I was still going to travel as much as I could, I started to look at like, a lot of this part of my life to me is bonus levels.
Yeah.
I didn't really plan to be here this long.
Didn't think we'd survive this
I didn't think
long.
I'd be here this long. And
or at least like in rough shape.
Right. I didn't think I'd be a functional adult,
Yeah, totally.
So now that I am, I'm going to enjoy as much of this as I can.
Dude.
And, go see as many places as I can see.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. It's a new lease on life. And it sounds cheesy, but it really is.
Yeah.
And that's how it feels. And I agree. Like the last sort of, few years of my life have been just this huge relief, and it's like it could have been like this the whole time.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
this is what everybody was talking about. Yeah.
That's exactly the way I feel. But I think like the three of us being sober, having our prior to being sober, and then after.
I was just saying that statement made it seem like I'm a raging alcoholic or something.
No, because
I've probably had 5 beers in the last year.
I apologize. You're not an alcoholic and a drug addict. Okay.
Yeah. You actually win.
Yeah. I understand.
Yeah.
That's not something
I
you should
want to
fight,
be in the group.
we meet on Tuesdays. No, but like I think for us, we have a different perspective of it because there was a point in time where we were wasting our lives away, and then we decided that we weren't going to anymore.
Right.
And I think there's a lot of people that they have no idea that that's happening to them too, and it has nothing to do with drugs and alcohol.
Yeah.
It has everything to do with the fact that they're just not taking the chances. They're
Yeah.
not taking the advantage that they can living in a country where you can be able to do the things that you can be able to do.
Yeah, I think it's being scared, and you know,
It's terrifying. But
Yeah.
it is terrifying. It's terrifying putting yourself out there.
Even
especially
just
with internet
changing your
now
schedule
makes
is
it-
terrifying.
But look,
sometimes.
you could go to school, you could follow the traditional route and go get like some, degree.
Schools for fools.
required
Look at us.
job, and then still fail.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna fail, go fail at something you want to do.
Yeah.
Because you can always try again.
At the end of the day, we both have friends that have 401ks and everything like that. And when they're 65 and they're living off of their 401ks and everything like that, good for them.
Yeah.
But we will have way more better fucking stories than they will.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
We will have lived 10 times the lives that they had because they decided they wanted to stick to what they're doing. I mean, I'm saying that to YouTube. I'm like, you guys both fucking you do the same shit that we do.
Exactly.
So it's like the same thing.
I was basically, I was kind of somewhere in between that world. I was doing the corporate thing, and I was, the 401k and the et cetera, and the 6-figure salary and the, whatever. And as of 2014, this is me. Like this is me.
So you had it and gave it up. See, that makes me feel like you're kind of an idiot because we never had it.
I mean, it was a little bit of a bonehead move, but yeah.
Welcome to the family. We meet on
Welcome to hell.
Wednesdays.
Yeah, but I 100%.
You told him the real Dave.
Yeah. Now this
Now
is the real
you're
day.
in.
Now you're in. Yeah, I 100% agree with you though. Like I have done more, lived more, seen more,
Yeah.
experienced more, and taken more risks.
Woman, look at what you've done.
in the last
look what you've done
10
with
to
this
12
community.
years.
Yeah.
You would have never been able to turn this podcast into a massive downtown festival
No.
without dedicating your entire life to this.
Totally,
and like
man.
that type of, you wouldn't be able to do that unless you took this step to make sure that that was the number one thing you wanted to do. Unless you pushed away all the rest of the stuff that was keeping you from doing the one thing you want to do. Because at the end of the day, if we died tomorrow, we died doing something we loved to do, as opposed to just clocking in every day.
I don't know. I'm so grateful for the people I've met doing this. All of you
yeah.
guys,
For sure.
And like, heck, what would I do without you, Hector? I don't know how I'd live my life anymore without you, buddy.
I don't know if you can function without me.
Well, that's like,
I know.
I mean,
I don't
well,
know if you
even
can function without me.
think about loading in, for the episode tonight. Just everybody hanging out in the lobby. Joe coming in.
Yeah, we came in. Everyone was like, "Hey,
It's like a family reunion before we even.
Because it is a family.
Yeah.
The amount of musicians that we've met just doing this podcast, and just being in the community, is just ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
And it's so funny because like what we get to do as DDRB, traveling to other places and come back and reporting back to our community,
Right.
Yeah.
is one of my favorite things to do. To be able to come back and tell you the stories. Like when we first got back, the amount of times that we were telling the same stories of, oh, what happened here? What happened here? This, that, and the other. So it's like we have this amazing community here. Then we get to venture out into the world, meet other amazing music communities, come back and be like, there's more of us out there.
Right.
Totally,
You guys got to go out there. They're really cool out there too. They do the same shit we're doing.
What I'm hoping is that the amount of there's a few bands that don't do too bad and get out and about, and hopefully that'll only increase, and then that'll be great for
think-
Florida because it'll bring people in.
Well, I think that's one of the. It's one of the biggest problems with Florida of
Especially South Florida.
how if somebody wants to come down here on a tour, they're guaranteeing themselves 8 hours in, 8 hours out. It's something that
cross
we've
the
talked
Sahara
about for
Desert.
years, that you need to at least have 3 to 4 shows to make it worthwhile to come
Yeah.
into Florida. And if you
Everyone
look in
keeps talking.
the Northeast, like bands tour within 2 months of being a band because A, everybody's got a radius clause, and B, because if you drive 2 hours, you're in a different state.
If you're in like upstate New York, within like 2 hours every direction, you got all those huge,
Massive
like Kingston,
metropolis.
like,
So and from that, you have the idea and the concept of show swapping is just right away. It makes sense for bands to have a friend that's in a different state, and you guys swap shows and you do it on a consistent basis, and that's how they grow, so fast. Here in Florida, we have supportive music scene, and we have supportive music scenes around the state, but the show swapping is a little less than anywhere else in the country.
Because it's like
in my
cities, and it's still like, and I really don't feel like we are. I can't stress this enough how fucking blessed we are with our music scene, because we go to other places, and you can just tell that it's just not as receptive.
It's not vibrant.
It's not. There's not like a core community involved. There's just kind of like a bunch of people that play music, as opposed to like everybody. It's like this is like it's like Cheers here, and you guys are a massive part of making that a real thing. But it's like not everybody has you guys. Right. Not everybody has the soldiers on the ground making sure that everybody's connected some way somehow.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it tough. And that's like it makes it tough for show swapping. It makes it tough because it's like they don't understand how valuable it is yet, because nobody's really showed them that. Yeah. And there's only a few groups. You don't hear of a lot of bands from Florida really making it. Yeah. Because I think they kind of die in the like you said, like the Sahara, where it's just like
swamp.
Yeah, and it's just like there's not a lot to offer for now. Yeah, but we're in the process of doing that more.
Well, and to that point too, for bands that do want to tour, if they're looking, there's so many bands that will want to do Florida over and over and over again, and that's where it's like a mental block to get past that state line, because it's 9 hours. It's a commitment to get out.
It's just 8 hours. How did it add an hour?
Time chains. Panhandle.
Depends if you're going to the
going through Pensacola now.
Oh, I know. We're driving it in just a few hours.
Yeah.
Boys, talking of getting out of Florida.
Now we just got the note back at 10 hours.
10 now.
I don't know what
we added a Bucky stop.
Jesus.
This is the Meridian line.
Oh, the Bucky stop for sure. That's what it is.
You got to eat the brisket. You got to shit the brisket. You got to get on the road.
So tell me, why don't we start talking about the tour that's coming up now?
Yeah, so
we're going on tour.
We leave. We fly out on the 9th, and then we're flying.
He said today. I don't mean to cut you off. He said today that we have a tour.
You did mean to cut me off.
I did. That's why I cut you off.
Yeah.
The tour starts in 13 days.
Yes.
And that shit hit me like an anvil.
Yeah.
I was like, what? It's already happening.
Yeah.
Go.
13 days we are leaving, and that's where it's like this year. So this tour we actually worked with a booking agent for the first time. This lady named Danielle, who has done a great job. But it was a different
Banana slug booking.
It was a different experience, because we've typically booked everything ourselves. And so a lot of it was kind of not really knowing what to do, because that work wasn't there. Yeah. So it kind of crept up on us.
Am I allowed to do nothing right now?
Right. And then
it was stressful in a different way.
Yeah, it was like a stressful waiting, because she was doing her job and would send us flyers, and we'd post them, and things were happening, but it was like
but you weren't actually
not of our
doing,
doing,
Weird.
So it kind of crept up on us. But 13 days we fly out to New York, and then we're doing Brooklyn on the 10th, Philadelphia on the 11th, Wilmington, Delaware on the 12th.
Which will be state what for you?
That'll be state 33 out of 50.
Yeah. New state on this tour.
Then it will be Alexandria, Virginia on the 13th. Willow Spring, North Carolina on the 14th.
It's a pretty name.
I feel like I'm missing one here.
Don't look at me, man. I don't fucking know.
Then we're
doing get on the
North
train.
Carolina.
So it's right outside of Raleigh.
Right.
And then we are doing
We're doing North Carolina. We're doing South Carolina,
Charleston,
Savannah,
Jacksonville, Orlando,
and then
and then working on our home show as well. So
Nice.
this will be the first train tour, not only for DDRB, but it'll also be the first train tour that will be arriving back home on train.
Okay. Yeah, sick.
Yeah, so we just one flight. So just flight to New York and then trains all the way
We need
back
to figure out a way to play the last show within walking distance of the train station.
Believe me, I've been trying
We've been working
to figure
on
it
it.
out.
We've been working on it.
Yeah,
If anybody's got
it's-
openings on the 20th.
It's really tough. Like we almost got to the point where we're like, just tell everybody to meet. I said
at
to him,
the
I
train
said,
station.
just meet us at the end of Clematis and we'll just play in that. We'll just play a busking gig out there. I mean, like it's
When is it? The 20th?
The 20th, yeah. Yeah, so we were, we're still trying to lock in that home date, but
We'll pick you up in a rolling stage.
I mean, hey, you don't even need one.
Don't
That's
tempt me
the
with a
best
good
part.
time.
We could literally say, "Hey guys, meet us at the train station, and we can do the whole entire show."
Right.
We don't need a stage. We don't need sound. We don't need any of that stuff. We just need our friends to come and just listen to us play some songs.
Soapbox folk music.
Yeah, it's pretty great. And it's like this tour is the first for DDRB, and definitely won't be the last. But it's just going to be a different experience after the last one. Coming back and like looking at it, be like, all right, how do we make this one better?
Yeah. It's like, how do we go about? Because now we're in on the process almost. You know what I mean? Like the first time we were doing it, was kind of like, all right. There was this not to like downplay the songs, but like there's this carelessness to the writing where it was kind of like when you're writing songs as a kid in your bedroom and you have no idea that anybody's ever going to hear it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That type of creative freedom. So now it's kind of like we know that we're a project. We know we're a duo act.
Second album,
So how do we not break the machine? That's always kind of a interesting angle.
Yeah, I think like last time it was probably like halfway through the trip is when I started being like, ooh, this could be a song, this could be a song, this could be a song. Because in the beginning we were just kind of like whatever comes out. Now the moment we step on the plane, I'm gonna be like,
right,
what's the next thing that's gonna be our next song? And I wonder how that's gonna affect the songwriting in general. But we've done like we're going to. Also, we're not just going to write songs about the train tours.
Well, that's where it's like we just put out Lost in Connecticut, which was written while we were home, but it is still about our travels, travels that we've done together.
I feel at home at a rest stop on the highway. I feel at home in New Jersey, at a little place right there on Canal Street. Who eats barbecue in New Orleans?
I know I cannot get stuck in bed again. I'd rather be broke down and lost in Connecticut, somewhere on the open road that I call home. Feel at home, cramped inside a suitcase. I feel at home on this stage. I feel at home, traveling all these miles, constantly crossing off the states. I know I cannot get stuck in bed again. I'd rather be broke down and lost in Connecticut, somewhere on the open road that I call home. Get stuck in bed again. I'd rather be broke down and lost in Connecticut, somewhere on the open road that I call home. That I call
Oasis Route Carver Bar is in Seagrape Square on Indian Town Road, and it is a carver bar. If you don't know anything about carver, it's a Polynesian root that you grind up and you mix with water, and it has been in Polynesia for potentially thousands of years. It's an old thing that they used for kind of ceremonial and also sort of leisure purposes. It's meant to be something where, you know, that brings people together. You all take a shell of kava and chink them together and say bula and have it together like that. It's meant to be something to bring people together. It has a kind of an effect, which is, I guess, a kind of a slightly warming effect. It just kind of makes you feel nice. It's not particularly intoxicating. It's not like drinking alcohol. So the atmosphere in a kava bar is sort of like a cross between a regular bar and a coffee house. It's pretty chill in there. You get all sorts of different types of kava bars. Some of them are more like a club, you know, there's sort of like blacklight and EDM playing. And some of them are more like a cafe. This is one of the cafe type of ones. It's super chill in there. If you're looking for somewhere to, I don't know, maybe go and do some work on your laptop or go and have a chat with friends, it's perfect for that kind of thing. There's a foosball table in there if that's your jam, or baby-foot as they call it in France. Yeah, Jim, the owner, is a really cool guy and he has very kindly sponsored our podcast. So thank you very much for that, Jim. They also do a poker night in there. All sorts of things going on at Oasis Route.
Welcome to 561 Music. We have some very exciting news. You may have noticed that the podcast is being hosted from a different place. That place is the 561 Music School and Studio. Justin Hucker has changed the name of his school from Live Music Community to 561 Music School and Studio. We have joined forces and now everything has the same name. The podcast, the festival and the school are now all under the umbrella of 561 Music. If you've been listening to the podcast for a long time, you will know that every week in this spot, we used to do an ad for Live Music Community. Now, Live Music Community has become 561 Music. We are still on North Lake Boulevard, but we have moved to 524 North Lake Boulevard, Suite A, North Palm Beach, Florida. It is east from the old location, and boy oh boy is it an upgrade. We now have a studio that is far bigger and more advanced. Bigger lesson rooms and 3 big spaces for recording bands and practicing. We now offer more opportunities for recording your band and provide more practice space to hone your skills. The heart of 561 Music School and Studio is still tuition. We train both young people and adults one-on-one and also in groups to be real bands, teaching you how to play your instrument not only by yourself but with others as well. We help you learn to write and record a song, how to brand and market your band, how to design and produce merchandise, how to get shows, how to act at shows, how to perform, how to organize tours, how to reach out to labels, the ins and outs of protecting your intellectual property, and much more. 561 Music is a one-stop shop for all your music and performance-related needs. We are also set up to help you record music videos, how to manage social media, how to create content for social media, and everything that is required of a person trying to break into the music industry in 2025. Come by the studio at 524 North Lake Boulevard in North Palm Beach and check out the new digs. We are online at 561musicstudio.com.
We've got a couple other tunes that kind of aren't really about our travels at all,
No.
but kind of more about
the experience of
folklore
being,
of being a traveling musician.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
came
nice.
to me with this one song about this Woody Guthrie song that we just finished up. That I'm so excited to start playing live, and to be able to write something that's about a folk legend like that, and like because we've realized recently that like train traveling folk music was a very big thing for a very long time. And
Sure.
people hopping on boxcars and going from place to place and everything
Yeah,
like that.
yeah,
Woody
yeah.
Guthrie being one of the big ones, Harry McClintock. I mean, Dylan went from Minnesota to New York on a train. And it's one of those things where we are part of now, we are essentially carrying the torch of this
Like
lineage.
the American version of the bardic tradition.
I mean, it's like this lineage of folk artists that we are sort of carrying the flame on.
Yeah.
And it's like, that never really clicked to me up until recently.
You know,
and now it
playing
like puts a
old
whole
song-
new weight to this
Playing
whole
old
thing.
songs that was one of the reasons like I got into folk, started Killbillies a long time ago. One of the things that I've always loved about it is playing old songs and feeling like, I know it's a little pretentious, but just feeling that connection down through the ages of all the people who've sung that song.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it's always meant a lot to me, that. And being a musician, I sort of like go on about it or talk about it very much. But, I do see myself like that, I'm in the bardic tradition, just thousands of years old. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're just doing our thing. We're like, poets and minstrels and wanderers.
Well, I mean, like if you go back to, I think I'm right in saying this. Back in medieval times, like the troubadours were sent from kingdom to kingdom to tell stories of what the other kingdoms were like.
Totally, yeah,
You know, and so like that is kind of at the base of what we do.
Yeah.
Like we are
100%.
going from
That's
music
sort of
kingdom.
exactly what we do.
Yeah, you know.
I haven't talked to you about this before, and it's a couple of months ago we were just having this, and it's I think it's great, and you're right. You're perfect exemplars of that. This band.
Yeah, and I think it's also a comforting thought to be like, okay, well, if that act has survived this long, hopefully it's not going anywhere anytime soon.
Well, I think, there's not a lot of people that are doing this in general. There's not
Right.
a lot of people that are. There's really like there are folk artists. There's a lot of like folk punk artists and everything like that. But I think that our specific train traveling folk duo is sort of not a thing right now.
We don't necessarily have to always be like the folk musician making a TikTok video standing in long grass.
Sure,
you know?
yeah.
No, we're way
different
more
current affairs
We're way more
Right.
optimized just on the niche of like if you were to Google train traveling folk duo right now,
Yeah.
it would be all us,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
Billy Bragg and Joe Henry who did it,
Which is great company. We will absolutely
with
take
Billy Bragg.
If Billy Bragg's
Sure.
up there, sure.
Do you
We'll take
know
it.
the Billy Bragg and Wilco album?
No.
It's Mermaid Avenue, it's called. There's this one tune on that. What it is a load of Woody Guthrie tunes that he never made into songs. That's just the just the text. And then they Wilco and Billy Bragg wrote the songs. And there's this one song on there called Jesus Christ for President, which is like how, it'd be better if the president was Jesus because humans suck. Regular humans. Which
Regular humans.
which is like, yeah, but he was kind of using him as like, separate because he did all these nice things. So it's quite
symbol.
difficult to explain. It's a very, very good song. Anyway,
Symbolism.
yeah,
We're doing
exactly. And the chords from that I ripped off for "Get the Devil Off My Back."
There you go. Out of way.
So yeah,
Sure, honest, man.
you should check it out. It doesn't really sound anything like it.
I think we will sound that out.
No, man.
Well, we'll check that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Might
a
check it
lot
out
of good
right
songs
now.
on there.
Might ignore
Right now,
you
yeah.
the rest
Show
of the podcast and just check it out.
Listen,
Yeah, but Billy Bragg and Joe Henry did a record where they literally went on trains in America,
Yep.
playing train songs, recording them like field recordings outside of the train stations. And so when you look up train traveling folk duo, if you Google it, it's all about us and then that one record.
that's so great.
That's for fun.
That's awesome. What great company.
I'm not mad
We'll
about
take it.
Yeah, man. He has a stage at the at Glastonbury that was kind of sort of left leaning or kind of punk rock or edgy stuff, and that was the stage that we got to play at Glastonbury. He's a good man. He does good work. He has tendrils that run all through society doing good stuff, man. He's a cool guy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen. Is there anything that we've missed? Anything you want to share with the world?
Well, we are doing like a little fundraiser for the tour because the last tour we did in the Northwest, we had a lot of overnight trains.
Yeah.
So for like the 10 shows we did, or whatever, we only maybe had 4 hotels.
Yeah.
And the East Coast is vastly different. So we have no overnight trains. So every show we have to get a hotel for. So the cost of this tour is way more expensive.
Yeah.
So we are doing this thing called the Buy a Mile program. And essentially what it is that it's $5 to sponsor a mile. You go to our venmo.com/DDRB music, and you'll be able to send $5 to sponsor a mile. And as we go through New York to Philly, however many miles that is, let's say it's 12 miles. Whoever sponsored those miles from 1 to 12, we will do a little video, shout them out and everything like that.
Cool.
So it's a cool opportunity to be able to $5 is fucking nothing. It's, it's like half the price of a cup of coffee nowadays.
Yeah.
And, so 5 miles for a mile, and there's no amount of miles. Like you can be able to get as many miles as you want. We're not stopping you. Buy all the miles. So that'll help sort of get us kind of locked in on a lot of these hotel rooms and stuff like that, because that's been like the biggest thing. So if you want to send the $5, it's venmo.com/DDRB music, and you can be able to send it there. And it's also like an opportunity for like smaller businesses to be able to, like, we have a community of people that we reach out to. If you're a small business and you just want really cheap advertising on social media, we're your guys. $5 and you can get a shout out during our tour. That, like, we know while we're on tour, it's one thing about our social media. When we're on tour, we get a lot of engagement. A lot of engagement. Because we're out in the road. People
love it, don't they?
Yeah, they just love it.
I think our phones, it's like, holy shit, this guy's in this city, and this city, and this city, and this city.
We're just like all over the place. And because we, like we said, like we're doing these things and we're reporting back to South Florida, small businesses that are, their customer base is South Florida. Like, we are speaking to these people on a regular basis. And we are deep in the trenches. So for $5 to get a shout out on a video, that's going to go to a good amount of clientele down here in South Florida, just seems like it makes sense.
And I guess they could give you $5 and really just have you say anything that.
It's just we're going to be shouting them out and thanking them, and to be honest, it's like everybody's gonna get their little time in the sun.
Sort of like a cameo, a little bit.
Sort of, for very, very.
Do you want to pay us $5 to tell Hector to go fuck himself?
Hey,
I was just gonna say,
you gotta do.
I'll give you guys $5, but you got to read like the most awkward, like, note or something.
That'll be $10. Yeah, so that's the way we're kind of going through this, and then we also have like merch on Bandcamp.
Speaking of which, we did actually. We brought a gift. We brought a gift for you, gentlemen.
One of our posters from.
Nice.
Very nice.
This one we did for the. We
That's
made
for
it
you.
for the
I'm signing that for you,
songwriter
boys.
show. And Hunter was the one that printed.
I believe, Hunter made those for
A
us.
60-minute photo over in Jupiter.
Yeah, man.
And so we had a couple of those posters made up that we give him.
got a couple left.
We'll give him a signature.
What kind of merch do you guys have on Bandcamp if people are interested in getting merch?
Right now, we've got shirts, we've got hats. We do have our CD, of course, Bright Green. The book will be up there when it's available in November.
Nice.
And I think we'll probably be looking at doing some more shirt designs as well.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, like, we're a band, we have to have merch and everything like that. But our focus is really the storytelling. So this is sort of like ancillary to all of that. Like, the social media stuff is all ancillary to all of it. Like, we want to be able to have a good experience and be able to come back and tell our stories.
Yeah.
So, like, we want to be able to get to the point where we could be able to play like theater shows and telling the stories and everything like that, and connecting with the community like we did. Because I mean, before we get off, the one person that I have to thank, and I think that we owe a lot of our kind of gusto for playing is Kenny.
Yeah.
And I talk about Kenny all the time, and everybody always talks about Kenny. You guys talk about Kenny, everybody goes, "Oh, it's a Kenny." But Kenny's calendar, yes, is a great tool, but Kenny, the person, is one of the greatest friends that I have made in this music scene since everything started. And he has been such an incredible champion of this project.
Yeah.
And him asking us to play on his back patio, and then, being the first one to be at the show at Brew House. And I mean, like, being in VIP, doing everything, and him and Sonia have been such an integral part.
She gave me a basil plant and I killed it.
You killed it immediately.
That is something.
Just put that on a sandwich and send it.
That is something that I actually wanted to pick up on, and thank you for doing it. But yes, Kenny, he's a darling. But Sonia don't get enough love.
Amazing.
Sonia's right there with him 99.9% of the time, and it's been really, really nice getting to know her. She's met my wife. She's very nice to my wife, and it's one of the reasons why Christy doesn't dread coming to my shows anymore, because she got to meet Sonia and talk to Sonia.
Yeah, she's incredible, and I think she's also one of those people that is super honest.
Yeah.
And like, will give you an honest opinion of how she felt about the show.
Yeah.
I think when everybody becomes like buddies and everything like that, sometimes it's hard to be honest with each other, being like, there was this little bit, this could have been better, this, that, and the other. And she's always great with that. And the two of them together are just an incredible asset.
Totally.
As humans and as supporters and just everything. But it's like Kenny has just put so much of his own blood, sweat, and tears into helping us be us, specifically in this project. become, as big as it. And if it wasn't for him, like, we wouldn't have done the theater show, because we probably wouldn't have scheduled the theater show in the first place. But because we got to test it, then we're like, shit, let's do this, and it's successful. So I attest a lot of what we do now to Kenny kind of giving us that push.
Yeah, he's a diamond. He's a diamond in the rough. Yep. May there be many more Kennys in this world.
Yes.
All right, listen, we've got to go and pack so we can get on the road. Speaking of, road-related things, I have not put a single thing in the suitcase, and I need to wash some clothes.
How long are you guys gone for?
Forever.
We're going to.
Hey, so next year you're going to bring DDRB to Dragon
Tuesday
Con?
morning. Yeah. What was that?
Next year you're going to bring DDRB to Dragon Con?
Hey, if
We'll dress up.
They
Elfears freaked me out,
definitely. I reached out to them this year and was like, hey, we put in an application, we hadn't heard anything, et cetera, et cetera. They did come back and say, well, we typically like to rotate, the talent. We don't want to do the same band, all the time. And shortly after that, they were like, all right, so you're in.
I was going to say, aren't you guys playing 4 days?
Yeah.
Yeah. We got a bit scared there for a minute. But I think, it's one of those things where it's like they'll have you, but then if you're like at this one point of it, they'll have you and then they reset you off, or they just will have you forever. There's like no.
There's a couple of bands there.
It's like Hotel California.
There's a couple of bands there that we met last year that have played it like the last 5, 6, 7 years in a row or something like that. There's also plenty of bands there that were like, oh yeah, I've only played it once, or I played it once like 10 years ago and then they finally asked me back, that kind of thing, So it just depends.
So we're really, really hoping we get to be the former. We'll see how it goes.
We'll see.
All right. See you later. And thank you so much for coming on, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Love you guys.
Take a better scene. It's what we're doing. Come and check it out. It's what we're all about. 561 music.